Alright, Digital Adele here, back with another Hoops profile for you. This time we have the Thompson twins, Amen and Asuar. Can get a little confusing. I know I got confused in the beginning of my video, so on the tape you're going to hear me call one the wrong name, but the evaluation's the same. Amen is number 1 in your hearts, Asuar is number 0. And they are identical twins. Their game is very similar as well. So for the purposes of this breakdown, I'm going to give you their stats. I'm going to read you my notes, but it's overall generality on really both of the players. They're 20 years old, 6'7", 210 pounds, 16.4 to 16.3 points per game. Asuar is the better rebounder, 7.1 points per game. He's more active. Amen is 5.9 rebounds per game. 5.9 assists per game. Asuar is the better passer, 6.1 assists per game. Steals per game is identical, 2.3. Blocks per game is nearly identical, 1.1 for Asuar, 0.09 for Amen. So basically a block a game for both. Field goal percentage, Amen shoots 56.6% from the field. Asuar shoots 48.1% from deep. Asuar is the better shooter, 29.8% from 3. Amen is shooting 25% from 3. They both turn the ball over a lot, 3.3 to 3.2 turnovers per game. Here are my notes on the twins. They're very, very similar in terms of game. Explosiveness, they're both an 8 or a 9. Left hand, right hand dribble, both 8 or 9s. They both can dribble with both hands. Finishing around the rim, they both struggle with their left hand, but they can do it. Asuar is like a 3 to 4 around the rim with his left hand. Amen is the better finisher in the paint with 5. Both right-hand finishers, 8 and 9 respectively. Their float game, 5. Spot-up jump shooter, Asuar is a better spot-up jump shooter. He's a 6. Amen is a 3. Off the bounce, they both need work shooting off the dribble. They're both a 5. Although going to his right, Asuar has a very nice mid-range game. Amen has a nice mid-range J too, a better mid-range than his three-point shot. Mid-post game, Asuar's basketball IQ is ahead of Amen's. He's a 7 in the mid-post. Amen is 4. Offensive IQ, they're both really, really high. They both push the ball up the floor without dribbling. They both are very good passers and willing passers. Screen settings a 5, they're lackadaisical on that. Low post game's a 5, footwork's a 5. Rebounding and passing's both an 8 and 9 respectively. Defensive IQ's both a 5, they both have lapses there. They both have poor footwork, poor body position and knee position. Their competitiveness is an 8. They play the passing lanes well. Asuar is a 5 in the passing lanes, Amen's a 7. They're both 6'7" athletes with NBA bodies. They're really raw, but their basketball instincts and offensive IQ is really high. They can both handle. They're really unstoppable in the open court. Sometimes they make themselves smaller than they need to be, especially Asuar. Amen is more of the big-time finisher in the lane, but they both can be. And they both turn the ball over a lot. But I really, really like them. I think they're both top 10, if not top 15 picks, respectively, in the NBA draft. Let's get into the tape. Talk about the Thompson brothers. Break down the tape. They're identical twins, but let's see if we can find some differences. This is Amen Thompson right there, number 0 for OTE. This is in the finals game. I want to break down the tape and see if we can find some differences in the brothers, because these two brothers could potentially be top 10 lottery picks in the NBA draft. I don't see them falling further than 15. That's just me, because they're so explosive. As you can see, they have NBA ready bodies. Just look how much thicker Amen Thompson is than all the rest of these guys on the court. He's got an NBA body already. You get to see him flip his hips. I don't like that little pirouette he did. You never want to turn your back to the defender or to the offensive guy that has the ball. He gets down reasonably well in his stance, but once he starts moving around, and this goes for both of the brothers, you can see how they start to stand upright because they're so tall. They're 6'7", 210 plus pounds. Same thing with Asuar here. This is Asuar. He's number 1 for OTE. Look how straight up and down he is in his stance. And you're going to see where this comes into play. This dribbler is going to come off the screen, and Asuar is going to have a very hard time staying with this guy fighting over these screens. He stands upright. And when you're upright like that, you have to then sink your butt in order to then navigate and pivot around this screen and catch up. And that just takes too much time. So he's gonna die on the vine, as they call it, on the screen. Look at all that separation that they have. For these two brothers, for being elite athletes, it's these little things they're gonna have to correct to become even better at the next level, because you're not going to be able to play NBA level defense with that kind of defensive stand on A-Man, who came down to help his brother out. But yeah, the Thompson brothers, let's get into it. Now, they both can handle the ball pretty well with both hands. However, they're a little loose with the ball. They both average over 3 turnovers per game. So their offensive IQ, even though it's high, they are a little lackadaisical with the ball. This guy's 6'7". A little right to left. Yeah, he's filthy, man. And then he picks his ball up in the corner. And this is what they're going to have to improve on, both of them. This is what they're both going to have to improve on. This is their three-point shooting. They shoot under 30% for their G League careers from 3. And as you can see, the footwork is a little rough. His foot should be further ahead to start. So his balance is a little messed up. I don't like where he's at. His ready hands are too low. Needs to be higher. So that way he can just get right into a shooting motion. Now, he does eventually get into his shot, swinging that foot forward, as we spoke about. He's done a really good job of working on his mechanics. His elbow stays in. I like that. He is on balance when he shoots, but his follow-through is a little low. So you're going to see the trajectory of the ball also be a little low. He needs to get that follow-through up higher over his head. Decent backspin on it, but the shot is short because he doesn't follow through high. Comes through a little flat. Again, just accepts his fate of taking that screen. This is it again. Just the ability to navigate screens is going to be very difficult for them if they have this stance where they're standing so high. He needs to be in a lower of a squat there. And you'll see it. He hits the screen. But instead of hitting the screen, he needs to get his front foot across that guy's leg and turn this guy back. So that's fighting over the screen. But instead, he just accepts it. So I guess they're going to switch on this play. But look at the foul. He's fouling the crap out of that guy because he's now in a bad position because this guy has a rim run right down the lane. So now he's trying to hold to get back into the play. And that's just bad fundamentals. Asuar Thompson is 0. A-Man Thompson is number 1. Asuar Thompson, to me, is more of the point guard facilitator. A-Man Thompson is more of not a 3-and-D guy, but more of a slasher, finisher, defensive guy. Even though their numbers are basically the same in terms of statistics. But this is Asuar with the ball. He doesn't really have a lot of handle. He can handle. He handles well. But he doesn't have a lot of moves in his bag. Most of his moves are a right to left crossover. After that, he doesn't really have much in his bag. There it is, a little right to left crossover, gets stuck, and travels. And this is where Amen really has to improve. He really has to improve on his three-point shooting. Like I said, they were in the 20s for their career in three-point percentage. And so just like his brother, I want you to pay attention to his footwork. It was a bad pass, but his feet aren't in ready shooting position. They're just not. So now he gets the ball. His elbow is a little out. He's fighting hard to keep that elbow in. Follow through is not great. He kind of is drifting backwards. He kind of is like, his momentum's taking him backwards. Like, look at how his body's like concaved. I'm not sure why, but that's just how he shoots. And as you can see, his follow through is not that high either. The defender's hand is higher than his follow through, which is down here. So he needs to follow through higher as well. And that shot's just way off. But look at this. He's 6'7". So he's got that NBA body. This is Asuar. He's guarding the big man on the post in transition. It doesn't even look like a mismatch, even though he's the point guard. Because he's just tall, strong, lanky. They're going to have the ability to be really good defenders. It's whether they're going to have the want-to and the mindset to do it. Asuar's got a really good feel for the game, though. The ball just moves. He just gets everything moving. All right, here is Asuar again. This time spotting up in that in-between arc and corner. And you can see how he's really worked on keeping the balance there on his shot. Keeping his elbow in and tucked to his body as best he can. And like he's getting a little bit better follow through better than his brother, that's for sure. And his shot's starting to look pretty good. Even though it doesn't get a lot of backspin and rotation on it, he really needs to work on flicking that wrist, holding that follow through higher. When Asuar is off the floor, Amen becomes the point guard for this team. So they both can play the point. Nice. That's nice. That's a very nice play. Very nice play. So this is Amen at the point guard position creating. They're just very explosive athletes. And they both have a really nice feel for the game, for passing the ball. They just got to work on their fundamentals. Their fundamentals are what's holding them back. But you can see the talent. It's popping off the screen. So Amen here comes off the screen. And it's not even a very good screen. But the defender plays a horrible angle, gives him the lane. And so now he has a choice here where he can go up for the bucket. Little pocket pass here. Or if this guy comes to help, he's got options. So he's collapsed the defense. Now that he's collapsed the defense, see, I'd rather him have made the decision prior to him getting in the air. And this is how they get so many turnovers. Because they're just playing off instinct and they're not using the fundamentals. If he would have just kept his dribble a beat or made the decision quicker, you got to make that decision back here. You can't get in the air and make this decision. People do it, but that's how you end up with turnovers. But it's a nice pass around the double team. Very nice pass. They just have very nice instincts for passing the ball. High basketball IQs in that regard. All right, so this is Amen again handling the ball without Asuar on the court. And I'm telling you, the kid can play. Takes the screen, knocks down a nice little 15-footer. he sticks to the mid-range game, he's going to be all right, just to mix it up. He's a much better mid-range shooter than he is a three-point shooter. Comes back off the screen. Look at all the space. Tons of space in this drop coverage. A lot better. A lot better. Still fading away, though. Alright, so there's the nice escape dribble at 6'7". Now here's where he needs to make this pass a lot sooner. He needs to make a decision, drop this dime. Instead, he over-penetrates. He over-penetrates. Ball needs to be gone. That ball needs to be gone. Instead, he does another little in and out and then tries to make the pass. It's just too slow. He's got to make the decision quicker. The right idea, got to make that decision quicker, and it needs to be a bounce pass. Alright, there's two things I really don't like on this play. Watch how he tries to fight over, doesn't really fight over the screen. There's one. He needs to fight over that. He doesn't really fight over it. Again, guy blows by him. Two, the roll man gets a wide open lane because he just stands there. That's the type of effort that's going to drive a coach crazy. Because if this shot misses, this guy's got an offensive putback because of his lazy effort of not boxing out. You got to play with better fundamentals than that. All right, so here's that man right there. He's going to be bringing the ball up the floor. And you can see he just has a lot of work to do on his fundamentals. Again, he's drifting back. This is why his shot is short a lot. Because he's drifting back on all his J's. He doesn't really follow through on his shot. So it's real flat. So you'll see it hit the front of the iron or the very back of the iron a lot. A-Man's really got to work on that for him. But I'd rather him shoot more mid-range J's right now than these threes because it's not his game. Play to your strengths, you know? And here's the A-Man again in the defensive stance. Too high in his defensive stance. This point guard just does a nice little change of direction dribble. Completely loses him. He needs to just take the space. What he needs to do. But yeah, they just got to get better at their stance defensively. Just too much space, man. Whenever they get screened because they can't get over the screens, they're too high in their stance up and down. This guy's got, 5 feet of separation already. He's gone. Little draw and kick action. Here's where they're really going to cause problems, though. If they can start fighting over those screens and get reattached to the body of the defender, look at how difficult of a shot he makes these going down the lane. Both of them. Both of them, because that was Asuar first, Amen's next. Just look at the length and athleticism. Makes that almost an impossible shot. And then little run out and go brother to brother. Twins telepathy. Constantly putting them in bad positions because they can't fight over those screens. All right, and this is how they turn the ball over a lot. They over-penetrate. This is MN. He just dribbled down the lane, and look at the defense collapsed on him. We've got a guy here. We've got his man guarding him. We've got a guy with eyes on him. He just over-penetrates. He needs to pass the ball, and he gets stripped. This is why they average 3 turnovers a game. Just Asuar's basketball IQ is way... I mean, his brother has a high basketball IQ, but Asuar's is even better. This is off a scramble play. He gets the ball. He immediately sees one guy, 2 guys. So now he's going to go, somebody has to be open, and he looks for the drop-off. Beautiful basketball play. Beautiful basketball. Asuar's the better player in my book. He's just got a better feel for the game. Now, I put more stock on the decisions and plays that are made in the weighty moments of games, like Mike Tomlin says, the weighty moments for the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you take a look, this is the fourth quarter of the finals. And these are the plays that are gonna define you as a player. I want to point this out. This is Amen again, and this is off the pick and roll. I want you to watch this. This is subtle. He's starting to fight over the screen a little bit more. Still not better. You see how he's trying to just pivot around with his hips? I keep pointing this out. He needs to get this front foot needs to come up and over. He needs to press up to the ball handler and slide over. There it is again, guys. This is why they have 3 turnovers per game, and it drives me nuts. Absolutely drives me crazy because there's no reason for it. This is Amen bringing the ball up the floor. Here he is. Amen. These screens are terrible. The angle the guard's taking is terrible off the screen. Why is he jumping? This guy is tiny compared to him. He's in a squat stance. Why is he jumping? This is a horrible basketball play. This is why he averages 3 turnovers a game. And it's in a big time possession. Luckily, Asuar comes over and bails him out. You know, I'm convinced that the Thompson brothers don't realize how big and explosive they actually are. This is a beautiful 2-man game, but a terrible finish at the rim. He needs to dunk that basketball. Beautiful 2-man basketball. Look at his lane, man. He's got the whole lane. He needs to go up strong. Look how high he is. My man didn't even jump with him. And that's the effort you get. Asuar, it's got to be better than that. Now, this is a nice take. He gets into the defender's body, the big man, creates the body contact. So that way he gets fouled and doesn't get a shot blocked. Better take. Stronger take. This time, Asuar comes off the pick, gets downhill, again, gets into the body of the defender, shoots over the top. And you can tell who the coach trusts as his go-to guy when he's trying to get buckets to win a finals game. It's Asuar. Your coach sets a double staggered screen for you, and this is the best shot you get out of it. There's 1 screen, 2 screens, and you settle for a 25-footer. No, that's not the shot you want down 1 with a minute and a half left. That's terrible shot selection by Asuar. The great news is they're both 20 years old, so there's a lot of learning they can do. It's going to be up to them to put in the work. This is a terrible closeout. He's again standing up and down. You need to close out with short, choppy steps and get your hands up. That's not it, buddy. That will not do. And that is it for today with the Hoops profile of Amen and Asuar Thompson. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. I appreciate everyone that's recently subscribed to the channel. We're going to keep doing this thing right through the NBA draft. We're going to have a lot of fun with it, even on draft day. You can join me where we're going to go live during the NBA draft and break these down, the fits, how they're going to fit with the team, what I think of the draft pick. So we're going to do that. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. I love all your feedback, positive or negative. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe. Take care. Stay safe out there.